All right, we are live now. If you have already joined in, do let me know that you can hear me, you can see me. All right, great. So we do have logged in. So thank you for joining us for this special health session that we've put together, keeping in mind the new health challenges that some of us have been facing. COVID has brought in a lot of changes, a lot of lifestyle changes. For example, now we're spending more time online. We're doing a lot of household chores, which originally was shared with somebody else, with our part-time helpers, etc. So all this have resulted in aches, pains, stiffness, etc. So in fact, we have been seeing a lot of posts in the community. That is when we approached Dr. Manoj, who is a director and a senior consultant at Physio Active, and he has also readily joined us. Let me just bring him in. Yes. Good afternoon, doctor. Thanks for joining in today.
Hi, very good afternoon. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So probably you are flooded with lots of calls during this period. In fact, I remember making a call for my mother-in-law as well. So how is it going for you, doctor?
Yeah. So this COVID has kept physically distant, but it has socially connected us a lot. So we're able to connect through these remote platforms. Thanks to these remote platforms that we're able to get connected actually. So before I go into the actual discussion, I'd like to thank Gurgaon Moms for this invitation. One thing is
In fact, we have loads of questions today for you, doctor.
right. Yeah. So I'm happy to answer them, and it's I know that Google Moms is led by an excellent people, and always have been amazed by the people who have in your group and the content you post. Very relevant content. So your punchline also says only for moms. So thank you so much for inviting me on this platform.
Thank
If
you for
I
being here. And
Yeah.
doctor, you have already, I think some of your patients want to say a big hello to you. Upasna, Hemalata, Prachi, all of them are saying hello to
Right.
you.
Hi to everyone. Hi to everyone. If I could just take a minute to thank for two more people, is that
No,
okay? Yeah.
of course, of course.
So at this point of time, I'd like to thank my wife also, KS Jayashree. She's been really supportive, and without which it would have been difficult to do these things. And also, I'd like to thank my kids, Tapas and Tejas, during the stressful times when both the parents are working. They've been really brilliant, and they've really been very, very helpful. So I'd like to thank them also.
It feels so good when you acknowledge everybody's efforts in the family. Truly, I mean, it is only, especially in challenging times like this, the family has to be teamwork. So yeah, it sounds great.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm also challenged to go ahead because I'm challenged because typically when a physio comes online, they expect a lot of exercises actually, but see, exercises are available online actually. They're available online in Google. You just go search exercise for the knee. They're available online. But what we do as a physio, so see, the pain, it has a multifactorial cause. Suppose if I treat someone, I'm talking to them at least 45 minutes one to one, where I'm able to understand about it in a whole actually before giving them the solution. And it is also pain, like I said, it's complex. For example, if I could just take an example where we are doing tele PT now. I met a female 43-year-old with a complaint of tennis elbow, pain in the elbow. So why this happened? The history suggested that she's doing a lot of household activities now, and so she's in a lot of pain. She's not able to bend the elbow completely, and she's not able to continue those activities also. But when I talk to her, when I understand, I saw that she's not getting any help from home. Also, it's a joint family, and she's really taking all the burden, and that what it does is actually it increases or amplifies the pain actually. Luckily, I was able to his husband also was a part of consultation,
Mhm.
so I was able to involve him and tell him that, see, the pain is there, definitely there's a tissue damage. I made her do some tests and it all came positive. So means we can find out if you're telling that the pain is when there is no tissue damage. No, I found out that she had a tissue damage which led to tennis elbow, there is inflammation. But I also found out that, because I'm trying to see holistically, that pain, if it was 6 or 7 in a scale of 10, 10 being severe, her pain levels were 8 or 9 actually.
Hmm.
So when I found out that she's not getting the help, also, you see that stress in the mind, it
Yes.
has also increased the pain tenfold. But once I involved husband and I spoke to him also, and he was very understanding also. Then he said that I'll be giving her rest, and so immediately she felt that feeling of feeling better actually. So what I mean to say is, so treating a pain is you need to look at it as a whole. What I'm trying to say is, here is treating pain is multifactorial. That's what I would want to say. So as a physio, we sit and we discuss all those things, and find out the real
Brought
reason for
up
the
two,
pain also.
you brought up two beautiful points here, Doctor. One is, yes, emotions also play a great role. And
Yes.
the second thing is, everybody at home should definitely be sharing the work. That's the
Yeah.
second thing. Uh,
Yeah.
but I'm also going to think that a lot of our members are going to give you a call and going to ask you to talk to their husbands. But yeah. So we have also started receiving questions, but I think we will go through your presentation before
Yeah.
we.
Right. Okay. So that's the exciting part. I've already done this presentation in 2 or 3 platforms, and I received a very good feedback where they were able to self help themselves. Like I said, pain is the major cause which is leading us not to do any activities. But they said after attending this webinar, they were able to overcome that pain to some extent, and they were able to go ahead and do their exercises, which was very important. So if you're okay, we can we go into the presentation then?
Yes, doctor.
Yeah, check it. So hope the screen is visible.
It is.
Yeah, right. Thank you. Neil. So again, I am Dr. DM Manoj. She's introduced me already. So I'm a sport physiotherapist, and what is the reason I'm here? I'm here for three important reasons. One is I want to emphasize on how important is that to stay fit actually, and staying fit is just not doing a lot of exercises and that this. So an activity like cleaning in home also is an activity to keep yourself fit. So there is a mindset change which you need in terms of how you see what exercise is. So that I would want to emphasize on that. And also, mind and body is so much connected. When the mind is when the body is fit, the mind also gives that positive thoughts actually. When the body is feeling achy or painful, obviously you can't focus on that. So they go hand in hand, and they should support each other. So I'd want to discuss about that. And also three important factors, which is genetics, environment, and poor lifestyle, which is the leading cause of a lot of chronic problems. So I'd want to touch upon that also. And also this in this seminar which I'm trying again, I've done this twice already, I'm trying for the third time, that I'm going to educate you on the pain patterns actually. So what I found was this: all those pains have certain patterns, and if you understand those patterns, sitting at home, you'll also be able to understand them and treat them on your own to some extent. Not only yourself, once you understand those patterns in your people living at home, you can also help them in managing this problem. So that's the third attempt, which I'm going to do, and I appreciate your feedbacks in this thing. So if I would say, if you can see this slide, This is the global cause of death in 1990, where if you see, 57% is non-communicable disease and 33% is communicable and 10% is because of injuries, road traffic accidents, etc., etc. But the interesting thing is, if you see the other side, the global cause of death in 2016, you see the extent of increase in non-communicable disease. So it has gone up drastically. And what are non-communicable disease? The diseases like diabetes, hypertension, your cancer, uh, and kidney diseases. They're all non-communicable diseases, which is mainly happening because of these three factors: the genetic factors, the environment, and poor lifestyle. So that is the reason that I want to touch upon all of them. And I also want to emphasize how important is that to keep yourself fit to take care of all those things actually. So yeah, this is the reason why we are meeting in this platform. We are physically distanced, but socially we are connected. I know this COVID has caused a disastrous amount of effect on the entire world, but also if I can see the positive side of it for a minute, I heard about this news where they said that they're able to see Himalayas after almost like 30 years from Roorkee and from other distant places. And I was also amazed to hear that the water bodies, they are getting really clean, and the water the content is very clear, and that is one. And the air we breathe also, if you go out and you can just from the balcony, you can feel those fresh breath actually. I've never seen the sky that blue and the air so fresh actually. So these are the changes which is happening positively. And why I'm emphasizing is that health also depends on all these factors, the environmental factors. So this is the cause for a lot of issues. For example, you breathe in bad air and you have increased chances of having a lung cancer. That is so. And how many people I know who left certain cities because their kids were not able to breathe better there. They had coughs, allergy coughs, all those things. So, so this is what we have seen, and I hope we learn something from this, and we take this forward also when we get rid of this situation. So that's the role of environment. And genetics, yeah, so the second aspect is genetics. So uh, if genetics is like, if the both the parents are diabetic, the chance of their child getting diabetic is more actually. So genetics also plays a main important role, and this to some extent can also be controlled by taking care of ourselves. Because I know of someone who was just 33-year-old and he was on the heavier side. He was taking medication for diabetic, hypertension, and cholesterol. Over a period of one year and few months, he lost about 22 kilos through diet and exercises. And we were able to see that he stopped taking the diabetic medications and the hypertensive medications. So this also, you need to think like you got to leave stronger genes behind you. So that's very important that you understand this point. And you taking care of yourself is, it's not that you're just doing good for yourself, you also you're going to help your generations to stay fit. So I'd urge you, and people who are a part of this thing, if they're not doing exercises, they need to definitely, considering this point, they need to definitely involve in exercises and see the benefits of exercises. When you do them regularly, the chance of having a lot of problems, the risk goes down. You get a lot of discounts actually. So 60% less in musculoskeletal problems is a huge discount. So means the only thing you have to do is just do regular exercise and be physically active. And we saw the environmental factors, we saw the genetic factors, and this one, the lifestyle modification, again this plays a main role, and it is in your hand that you change your lifestyle. So and these are the three important aspects which I want to emphasize before I go in dealing with the pain. Because yeah, getting rid of pain is okay, but it should solve some purpose actually. So what is that purpose? The purpose should be to move and to keep yourself fit and healthy. Yeah, that should be the purpose actually. So and if I could just speak a little bit about the pain, like I said earlier, and Neela also emphasized that the pain is not as it's multifactorial. It has a lot of reasons actually, and you should know why what is the reason for the pain, and what you should read from that reason. Actually, it's pain is like an alarm signal just to protect us. So suppose you would want to wake up early and you keep an alarm and you wake up by 4:30 in the morning, and it serves its purpose just to wake you up. But after you wake you up, what you do, it is that is important thing. So if there is a signal, pain signal, you can't react to it immediately. You got to see what is the reason for it actually. It's like a fire alarm again. So if there's a fire alarm, sometimes the fire alarm can go wrong. It can have a false alarm also. So it gives a signal for you to see what is happening. And if there is a real damage, tissue damage, then you take steps accordingly. If there is no tissue damage, then you need to slowly do activities to overcome the pain, and then definitely make sure that you continue doing activities which is going to help you get rid of the pain also. But you got to approach in certain way. So I'm going to discuss further to understand those patterns and how to approach them also. So for example, suppose you strain an ankle and you have a lot of pain. What is the reason of pain there? The reason is that if you start walking with an injured ankle, it is never going to heal. It's like a red light signal telling you to stop when the train is passing by. And some people try to cross that red light and get hurt actually. So you need to listen to that. That's a signal. When you're hurt, it is helping you to heal. But again, sometimes the signal could be a wrong signal or a bad signal also. So you got to really see how it is impacting, and then you got to take a decision. So it is important that you understand pain, and this is what we do: understand ourselves where the pain is coming from, and educate them to overcome that pain. And that's an important aspect of physio. And before I go in, if I before I go in teaching you how to manage pain, if I can just touch upon this trigger points. So there is line of defenses actually. First level, second level, third level. Muscles are the first level of defense to any stress, a physical stress. Why they are the first level of this? Nature is designed in such a way that muscles, if they get injured, they can heal faster also. So that's why that has been kept as a first line of defense. The second line is the ligaments and the tendons, and the third line is the bone actually. So when the stress is given, the muscle takes it, and if the stress is continuous, it tends to adapt. For example, if you're sitting on a laptop for too long, and there is a lot of stress on the neck muscles. Now, how do the muscles adapt? If I can play this video, you could just see how the muscles adapt. The muscles adapt by something called trigger nodules actually. You could just palpate them also, sometimes you feel the nodules. This is the muscles we go deep in. You can see the single fibers, and these fibers are the one which is reason for the movement. They slide like that and they cause movement in any muscle. But for some reason, like bad posture, or if you're doing too heavy in exercises, you could just stress them and create a nodule. If you see that, that's the nodule, and it is one nodule in a single fiber. Over a period of time, if you don't take care of that nodule, slowly you'll see that that nodules also expands actually, and you see a lot of nodules happening. So this is one important concept I want to understand. This is the adaptation to stress, the muscle adaptation. And the second concept is the hot and cold. Yeah, this is the very commonest question that they ask me: when should I use hot, when should I use cold? um, I'd emphasize this very much. I'd say this, like taking care of the pain, they play an important role. And when one best thing about them is they don't have any side effects actually. Even the medications do the same. Suppose some people do that, they're in pain, immediately they pop a pain medications. Yeah, that blocks the pain. Like I said, the pain is not felt in the area where it is injured. The pain is felt in the mind, and it is a lot of other factors also which influence it. So by taking a painkiller, you just block the pain temporarily. So, how about using the natural painkiller and utilize them to take care of their pain whenever it is possible? If it is high pain, maybe you take medication, but how about avoiding them in some cases and use this natural healing? I'd call this cold pack as an anti inflammatory agent and the hot pack as a healer. So suppose you have an injury, there is a lot of bleeding happening in that place, or a swelling which comes if it is an internal injury, and if you feel typically it is warm. So the best thing to do is apply a cold pack, just do the reverse, control the swelling, and I'm telling you, if you do that first aid well, 50% of the problem is managed well. So that way, cold pack helps. Whenever there's inflammation, you got to use a cold pack. And hot pack. What is the effect of a hot pack? If you put the hot pack, it relaxes those muscles. And second, it improves the circulation to that place also. What do you mean by that? It brings in a lot of nutrients to that place and also help in carrying out all those damaged products which is left over there. So it works as a healer in the later part. So when it's an acute injury, you go with a cold pack, and after a few days, you shift it to a hot pack actually, which helps is like a healer actually. So I hope you understood that simple concept. And this patterns, I'll take a minute to explain you this pattern. There is typically two kinds of injuries. One, a traumatic injury, where if you twist your ankle, you strain your ligaments, and that's a traumatic. And a repetitive. Suppose if you're sitting on a laptop for a few hours, or suppose you're washing dishes also in a poor posture, it's going to be more stress. So these muscles accumulate a lot of repetitive strain on them, and they also start causing pain. So that's repetitive stress. If I could just compare it with, suppose you'd want to cut a rope, there is two ways to do it. You could just take a knife and cut it into two. That's what the traumatic injury is. But if you take the same rope and rub it against a stone, you'll see that slowly you can wear off the rope. So that's the repetitive strain actually. When do you face this repetitive strain? If you're standing for too long in the kitchen and you're working in a bad posture, that I would say is a repetitive strain. If you're sitting in a laptop in front of the computer for too long, or if you're watching TV in a bad posture, that's a repetitive strain. If a kid is sitting in front of iPad or laptop and he's in bad posture, that's a repetitive strain on him also, I'd say. So you know the differences between what is traumatic and repetitive strain. This repetitive strain, it has like, it follows three patterns again, or I've classified this so that you could just treat them accordingly. One is you could have this repetitive pattern and you could have pain and you are a non-exercising person. Then the treatment is different. And the same thing happens, but you're an exercising person. You do regular exercise. The treatment is a little different. See the difference, how it is classified based on how your body is. So we have classified this based on whether you're an exercising person or non-exercising. The pain is the same, but the classification is based on whether you're exercising or not, because it doesn't work with the same treatment. The third thing is the disc pain. Actually, I want you to understand, because the spine, mm, half of the world is on social media and all the on the laptop. So you'd want to understand, if you heard the discs actually, which is important factor in this, which is important aspect in the spine, you should know what are the symptoms you will have typically, so that you can manage them also. Spine being the base, I thought that will come into separate this thing. So so this is the first pattern, which is very typical in people who are on laptop and cell phones for longer time, especially if their posture is bad. Posture bad being that you're not efficient. Imagine you holding a weight close to your body and you holding a weight there, which is tough. You holding far away is the toughest thing, because you're not efficient. If you're efficient, you're going to hold it close. Same way, if you tend to slouch a lot, you're not efficient. If you tend to sit tall and you keep the center of gravity within your line of gravity, then you're efficient. So that's it. And efficiency, you could just work longer time. And let me go into the patterns. These patterns, very common patterns, and typically they complain of headaches there and jaw pain. That's one pattern. Some people have complain of pain behind the eyes and headache there, and some people complain of pain in the neck which is going to the arm, and also feel that sometimes the arm goes weak actually. These are the three patterns which is commonly observed when your upper body posture is bad, especially the neck posture, and it is very common. So I thought I'll just discuss about this one. And when you have these patterns, what you do them is you treat them by releasing those muscles. Later, I'm going to tell you how to release those muscles, but you're going to release those muscles on your own. And after the release is done, you're going to apply a cold pack. Yeah, in this pattern. If you have pain and if you're a non-exercising person, suppose the similar thing. If you're having pain and you're an exercising person, so you did a lot of jumps and you had some same trigger points. You've been doing a lot of jumping exercises. You'd have sometimes trigger points in the thigh muscle, which can also cause knee pain, or in the calf muscle, which can also cause heel pain. Or in case we are standing for too long in the kitchen and working, the pain in the calf can also go to the heel. It not necessarily that it is in the heel. That's the thing of this trigger points. The problem is somewhere. The pain radiation is somewhere. So you need to understand this pattern. And if you're an exercising person, how are you going to treat them? You're going to release them and then do a hot pack. Then the disc pain, which is very important, the neck and the back pain. So that has two patterns typically. You wake up with very stiff back like a log. That's one pattern. And as you move around, as the day goes, you feel better. The next pattern is you wake up, you're fine, and as you start working, you're on the computer or you're in the kitchen standing working, you start having this pain in the back of the neck actually, and it gets worse as the day goes up. It could be muscles also, but it could also because of weak loading capacity of the disc. So how do you manage them? If you have an early morning stiffness, what you need to do is it tells me that it's an acute strain in the neck or in the disc actually, whether it is neck or back. Before going to bed, you should apply cold pack on that area. And when you wake up in the morning, you'll be much better. That means you'll not be too stiff when you wake up in the morning. And once you wake up in the morning, you just go and take a warm bath, you'll feel much better. You know how to manage this one now. Early morning stiffness, you put cold pack in the night and hot pack in the day. And if early morning you wake up fine, as the day goes, you start having back pain or neck pain, then you go with warmth before you go to bed. And after doing all your activities like household activities or your computer activities, you need to apply a cold pack which will help you relieve that. So these are the patterns. I hope I've told you an outline of how to manage them. So quickly, I'll tell you what is this trigger points and what do they cause actually. Now you'll be able to correlate with them. I told you they are a bunch of muscles which are really clogged and they are not circulating well there. So they release a lot of chemicals there which causes pain. For example, if you had a trigger point there, you see where the pain is. It is going to the neck, but your trigger point is down. It also restricts you from moving. It doesn't allow free movement. So now, if you have a trigger point, would you be enjoying your exercises? Not obviously, because not really, because you feel that restriction in the movement, and you're not feeling like doing it because you're feeling tired also. These are the trigger point symptoms. Now, how you should release them? I told you the trigger points can be somewhere and they can radiate there. A simple solution is to use a rubber ball or a blunt object at home, which is really smooth. You could just roll that area, and what happens there is this rolling on that point, you might typically feel the pain also. Suppose you roll this area, you might feel pain going to the head, or if you roll this area, you might feel pain going to the neck. When you roll those points gently, at some point you'll feel more pain. That means that's the area, and by self rolling it, you could just the trigger point which is inside. You could just slowly it can get rectified. Actually, it can get disintegrated. Now, how do you do that? There are some examples. You could just use a tennis ball to roll, or you could just use a small blunt object and just stretch that muscle and come just slowly slide them along the neck, and you release them. Now, once you're released, you know what to do, whether cold pack or hot pack. Now you've done the hot pack and cold pack, how to manage them. Immediately, you got to do some exercises. Suppose if it is neck, you need to do something called resetting exercises. Why did this happen in the first place? Because your posture was bad. You had a forward neck. Now, how do you correct? You do the opposite movement. You do the chin tuck in. And with the chin tuck in, you also stretch your neck muscles to loosen them. I told you when you have trigger point, the muscles get stiffened. And also stretch your shoulders because it also affect the other area. So you follow this pattern. You release that, you apply hot or cold, and then you do exercises. By doing this, you relieve the trigger point. Then you can just do that activity. Like also I said about what is the good posture. Bad posture is one reason why you develop these trigger points. A good posture is where you are mechanically efficient. So, for example, if you're in the kitchen and while standing and cleaning dishes, see the posture, which is the correct posture. You can bend your one leg in front. That helps your hip to bend rather than the spine, and this prevents neck and back pain. You can keep changing those legs also as you do that activity. Right. Okay. So that's quickly about this thing, and I'd want to go. People typically would want to ask me that one exercise which is going to help them. I understand what they want, so I've exactly come with that one exercise which will help you. This will help you if you're a guy or a person who's sitting in front of the computer for too long. I'd recommend that you need to do this exercise 1 hourly. Spend just 30 seconds and do this exercise 1 hourly. Or if you're an elderly adult, you can also do these exercises that will take care of the knee and the hip. And if you're on the cell phone for too long, that is also applicable here. By doing this one exercise, you get relieved from the stress which is slowly accumulating, which will slowly lead into those trigger points. What is that exercises? You could just try that now. You just need to stretch your leg up and pump your ankles. By that, the blood which is pooled, you're pushing it up actually. So that reduces the calf stress and the calf pain. And by now stretching the knees up and down, one, you're strengthening and toning up your knee, and also you're stretching your hamstrings, which is important cause of your back pain. Now the third thing is by doing the third part of the exercise, you can take care of your upper body completely, where you stretch your upper body up and down, and with deep breaths when you do that, so you're also taking care of the lungs and neck and the shoulders. So this is one exercise which I advise you all to do that, and it's like a preventive exercises. If people are if they're on a laptop, I advise them to do this 30-second exercise every 1 hourly, because that's going to get them relieved from their stress points. So ultimately, it's going to end of the day, it's going to prevent you from having aches and pains. Yes. Okay. So I'm continuing this as a part of my last presentation, because we were presenting it that tell us that one exercise which is going to make us fit, prevent aches and pain, and also they mentioned that bring a harmony. I said the harmony. Yes, this exercise definitely takes care of the aches and pains, but one exercise which is going to bring harmony in the family is this one. I think our moms, our wife, and everyone in the family, especially females, they need help from the male fraternity, and I think they should step up to the occasion. And it needs a mindset change. I said already, anything you do in excess is an exercise. So not everything, anything. So you could just go there, help them, take their burden off, and that will really bring harmony in the family. So with this, I'd like to end my presentation, and I hope, yes, yeah, right. I'm I'm Neela. Thank you. I'm done with the presentation. So I hope. Mm, yeah, you muted. You muted.
Okay, I have unmuted myself.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Doctor.
You're
Uh,
welcome.
Thank you so much for the presentation.
Thank.
It had a
Thank you.
lot of, it taught us how to identify and how to handle it in the best possible way.
Yeah.
And you also spoke about the importance of, managing stress and emotions at this point in
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And I think the most beautiful point that you brought out also is about sharing the burden and sharing the workload at home. And we always tell our moms in the community, do not hesitate to ask for that help. You don't have to do everything by yourself. So these were very, very beautiful things that you highlighted. I'll quickly go to the questions. We have quite a few questions lined up for you, Doctor.
Sure.
Uh,
Sure. Right. I'll try to answer
yeah.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
The
some
best
you
possible.
have already answered as part of the presentation, but I will
Yeah.
still allow you to
Sure. Sure.
let them know. That is one. Also, I think before we get into questions, one point is I did take a look at the program that you're running for senior citizens, where you're doing an online class kind of a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if because we do have a lot of community members whose parents are staying with them, and we do
Right.
have senior members also as part of our community. So in case they wish to enroll for that program, what is the best way they can reach out to you, Doctor?
Right. Okay. So I just like to highlight this few things. Once all this lockdown thing happened, we started calling people to help them on phone online, and we helped them by solving their queries and all the things. Then we went to the next step of doing through a video platform. So we have two groups. One is the fitness population who would want to keep themselves fit. So we run a fitness session which happens thrice in a week, and also for elderly adults, we run a fitness program which mainly takes care of their knee pains and aches. And we are doing it on a Zoom platform. So I'll be able to share the details. If you can share that on your platform, they'll be able to benefit from that, this thing.
Yes.
And
So they can
yeah,
do that. We will share your contact details and details of the program in the
sure,
community
sure.
after our FB Live.
Yeah.
In fact, one member has asked for the presentation as well. So anyway, so I will talk to Doctor and then I'll get back to you on that, Anjali. Anjali also has a question, Doctor. I've stiffness in back, neck, and shoulder. Can you please advise?
Okay, right. Okay. So stiffness in back, neck, and shoulder. Yeah, means um, right. So this is the main three areas which we discussed. Yeah, I'll send you the presentation. Hopefully, you'll be able to understand why the stiffness happens. Stiffness in the neck and back, if it is there, like you'd want to understand whether it's an early morning stiffness or late in the evening stiffness. I said that management is completely different. And I also want to understand that you are an exercising person or non-exercising person. So this presentation, I think it will help you. If you look at it, it will really help you. uh, uh, like I said, this is challenging also to answer certain things, because we spend 1 hour in understanding a patient, and when I have just one information, I'm really not able to suggest the exact treatment. But this presentation, I'll ask Neela to share with you. It will really help you in deciding what you'd want to do. If you still would want any help, you could just reach out to us on the phone. We'll be able to help you. Yeah.
Next is from Shubha. She loved your last slide. We all did. Very informative presentation. Thank you, Dr. Manoj. And her question to you is it good or is it okay to massage when there is muscle stiffness?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Right. That's a good question. So I missed it. Thank you. Right. This massage along with the we call it myofascial release. Massaging, like we spoke about the trigger point. This thing massaging helps in releasing those trigger points. So once this trigger point is released, you saw the effects of the trigger points. They make it stiff. They reduce the movement actually. So obviously, massaging that area would really relax, and it will help you improve the movement. For example, if you feel stiffness in the knee, typically you feel stiffness in the joints. If you feel stiffness in the knee, massaging your thigh muscle and the calf muscle, because they are the two things which support this joint, which in between the knee joint. So doing massage on both the areas will release the stiffness in the knee. That's a good question. Yeah.
Next, will any existing muscle pain or stiffness increase during periods or PMS?
Yeah, right. So the stress points in the body, um, which we discussed, they are triggered by multi factors actually. Suppose if you see someone, if they are feeling weak or they're feverish, they'll have more aches and pains actually. So how our whole body is, definitely it also decides the pain intensity. So if you had a trigger point and if you had cramping happening because of the reason, whatever reason you said, this increases the intensity of pain in that particular area. And it can be shown as an increased pain momentarily. Yeah, it can increase the pain. Yes.
Bhumika has a question. I have a lot of pain in my right heel. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's plantar fasciitis,
Plantar fasciitis. Yeah. Yeah.
plantar fasciitis, suffering
Yeah.
from last few months. So,
Right, right. Okay, suffering from last few months. So we classify this based on whether it is an acute, subacute, or chronic. If it is more than few months, I think it is more than 3 months, then I classify it as a chronic plantar fasciitis. What is that? If I could quickly just tell you about it. The arch of the feet has a string-like structure, which is called the plantar fascia. Imagine a bow, and the string is the plantar fascia. It is designed so that it works like a shock absorber, and it takes the weight of your body. So the stress on the shock absorber will be more, one, if you're on the heavier side, two, if your muscles are weak, that means you're not doing fitness. Or if you're doing overdoing, suppose you're running on a hard surface, that can also cause. So depending on the cause, I'm going to give you the solution. But typically plantar fasciitis, I also said you could have trigger point in the calf muscles. So I'll momentarily I'll tell you to release those calf muscles with the tennis ball which we showed in the presentation, and also release the plantar fascia with the tennis ball. Like, how would you do that? You'd put the tennis ball on the floor, put some pressure with the feet, and then just roll it up and down. Uh, this, along with the calf massage and little cold pack on the heel, would really help you get rid of this. But if I had more details, I would really help you more. I hope this helps. Yeah.
I approached you for a similar
Yeah.
problem for my mother-in-law. She's feeling
Yeah.
much better. So thank you so much, doctor, for that.
You're welcome to bring that.
I think the beautiful part of that, one, it was online consultation. The second thing was
Yeah.
that you spoke to her, and that made her feel stronger and more. That gave her that comfort. So I think that
Yeah.
helped a lot as well.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Renu has a question. Kindly give your valuable advice on calf pain in left leg from long time. Now it is getting worse, and she's unable to sleep whole night.
Okay, okay, right. Okay. So, right. Okay. Hi, Renu. I hope I could just help you completely through this platform, but this is a very less of information. But pain in the calf in the night, especially, I told you, and especially if you're doing a lot of household activities, standing in the kitchen, what happens is the blood is cooling down because of the effects of gravity. This happens, suppose you're sitting and working on a laptop for too long, or if you're standing for too long, there's a lot of blood pooling happening in the scarf, and that accumulation, when you go on sleep, it can irritate you a lot and cause sleep disturbance. I hope you followed that one exercise which would help you. That one magical exercise, just every hourly, if you're working, sit down and just pump your calves for 10 times. You can just do them 2 sets also, and also stretch your knee, and also do the same exercise before you go to bed. But depending on how much time you're spending in standing, I'd advise you to do that 1 hourly. And again, massage your calf a little bit and apply some cold on the calf, or warm, depending on your exercising person or non-exercising person. and hopefully that will help you and you'll be able to sleep better. Hopefully, yeah.
Okay, great. Uh, One more question is, can you share some information on vitamin D deficiency?
Okay. Uh, right. I'm not the right person, but I can just give you some information. So, vitamin D is very important for musculoskeletal health and bone health. And and you know the source, sunlight is the source. If you're not coming out in the sun, obviously you'll have deficiencies. So I'd want you to check, because unnecessarily taking a lot of vitamins is also not advised. And at this point of time, you can't go out anywhere and eat a lot of other stuff. So if you're sitting at home and eating healthy food, obviously you'll get a lot of vitamin D's. So, and also you just go out in the balcony and spend some time, especially in the morning, standing in the sun, and do Surya Namaskars also. That will also give you exercises and vitamin D. But I'd like to get it checked. But we have symptoms of deficiency. Typically, you're lethargic and you feel tired. These are symptoms of a lot of conditions. So you don't go with this one symptom. But if you feel that, there is no harm in substituting it for some time, and for a week or 10, and if it helps you, maybe it's because of lack of vitamins. But when the situation settles down, I'd want you to get a quick check on the vitamin D also. Yeah.
Now, because of the new situation, doctor, our children are spending a lot of time online, more than what we would want or we would prefer. Uh, do you have any recommendations for that? And also, their activities have been limited at this point in time. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Give us some.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Means like I like the word used, more than we prefer. Yeah, we prefer them to watch less actually. But I'd like bring some scientific facts which will really help you to decide what you should be doing in this condition. Um, 0 to 5 years of age, um, no screen. You don't show them any screen. Okay. 5 to 10 is 1 hour of a screen time. That's what research says. And above 10 to 15, it's 2 hours. Uh, my mom used to say, there's a Tamil saying, and it's a common saying she used to say very often, ஐந்தில் வளையாதது ஐம்பதில் வளையாது. Means certain things you need to make them habitual when they're young. The meaning of that is they need to get used to. And when they're 50, you don't expect them to change too much. Like, for example, if I can talk about this little bit about kids. Kids, if you see, they learn fast. They learn very fast, especially in the first 2 years. They learn to sit, stand, walk, and run in 2 years. And same way, every learning is happening in them very fast actually. So sticking to this box for too much time, it's really spending a lot of time in not improving themselves, but you're focusing on something else. So imagine that they're learning a language. They learn it very fast, and they tend to remember that language. If they learned any new language, they remember that throughout the life. The same way, the patterns also. Some people sit like that always, even they're 30, 40, they sit like that. Why? You learn this habit. This
Hmm.
is habitual. You learn this when you were young, actually.
Right.
So it is very important that you build a system when you're young. You put in and learn good habits, and you, it- and uh, one important thing here is that um one, it is genetically transmitted, but I should ask you all. So the kids learn from where? The parents, right, Neela? So,
Yeah.
so I'd say that they observe you and learn. That is one way of learning. So, if you are sitting in a bad posture, and I showed you the pic actually says if mom is in a good posture, the child is in a good posture. If mom is sitting in a bad posture or dad is sitting in a bad posture, the child also sits in a bad posture. That's learning actually. But if I could just take 1 more minute to explain one important thing, uh, exercises.
Hmm.
How do they keep themselves fit? I've seen, yeah, it works sometimes. If you teach them specific exercises, kids do it, but it's really boring. They do it for some time, then they stop it.
Yeah.
But if kids are doing regular yoga or something, I'd really appreciate and we should do that. But above all, What is that one activity we enjoy a lot? Playing. You just need to allow them to play, let them fall, let them get up, but you have to make sure that they are playing something. They let them play, let them jump. Don't stop. Means, yeah, if they're causing harm, you need to stop them. But let them jump around the house, let them fall, let them learn from it. They'll know what is a good pattern, what is a bad pattern. If you say that, no, don't do this, no, don't do this, no, don't do this, you have completely shut down their learning actually.
That's
Then
true.
they're going to be like that. So playing is one best activity. Like, yeah, that's they should be doing. If I can just tell this, I allow my kids to play football. Sometime we have our own clinic, so they go there downstairs and play football there. Morning, every morning they do it for half an hour, and they do a little bit of exercise and come back. So just allow them to play, let them play. Yeah, that's the best exercise for them.
Definitely, yeah. But the situation is a little complicated right now because they can't move out of the house. That is
Yeah,
one. The second thing is they're forced to now sit online and listen to their classes. For example, my son starts at 9 o'clock and it goes
yeah,
until about 12:30, and the time he comes out, he's so tired. Uh,
yeah,
because, I mean, the very fact that he has to stare at the monitor is, I think it is tough on them. So, is
yeah.
there anything that we should ensure, like ergonomically, should we ensure that they have the right chair, or I don't know? So, you,
Right. Okay. So that's what the last presentation I spoke about ergonomics. They play only 10% role or 20% role.
okay.
So there are no role with the ergonomics, and education should help us uh, mentally and physically fit. Actually, that's one important aspect of the education. So you got to be. I know I might be wrong, but you don't want to be crazy engaging kids with this stuff. Uh, Guys, I'm sorry, that's my opinion, but it could be anything else. But it's really crazy putting them into. At the end of it, they're fatigued, they're tired, and what have you achieved? Like I said, they've not learned much. But one cueing would help. Yes, usually kids, what you should do is, if they are sitting like that in a bad posture, you typically what do we say? We say sit straight. But sit straight. What is straight? You know what is straight. You can't know what is straight. But if you cue them that, hey, sit with your back supported, upper back supported on the sofa, like they would go, okay, they'll have a feedback that yes, my back is touching. Or you can tell just that tapas move such that your back is touching the sofa, right? He moves and he touches. That's a feedback to them. Cueing to them like that would help actually. But I've answered this question already, what you should be doing with education.
Sure,
Yeah. Mhm.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll stop with this last question.
Right. Yeah.
She's suffering from Lindsay Ajesh is suffering from cervical spondylitis for past 15 years. She has tennis elbow and CPS in right hand, suffer a lot of pain altogether. Sometimes movement gets restricted and takes many days to get back to normalcy. Would like to know what should be the line of cure for these problems.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think we need to meet. That is the
Yes,
best solution
I
for this.
think
There's a
so.
lot of things actually because
Yes,
you put in some technical terms also. But if I just quickly end with this thing, movement. You see what all the movements which is possible now. You continue doing them. You don't stop. Like I said, yes, pain. Suppose it was acute. You fell and you hurt and it is painful. Obviously, I would want you to take rest. But what is the second part which I said? Even if you're in pain, that signals, yeah, they are protective in nature. They want to protect you. But once you see that there is the alarm is there, but there is no fire, you still can't be taking a fire extinguisher and trying to do that. You'll be harming yourself. So what you should be doing is you should start slowly moving. Wherever it is not painful, start moving them, and slowly over a period of time, you might feel that the pain is going down. And if that is going down, you can just increase the activities. That's what I would suggest. And I've seen this happening in a lot of people. Once they continue to move, they start feeling better. But start slowly. Let the body also feel that she is not harming me. So use that tactic and slowly do that. And this is the must moment for everyone in pain, if it is not harming them. That's it. Yeah.
so I just realized that it's a vast topic, Doctor. Probably we'll need a few sessions to
More
answer
is that.
all questions and to address topic.
yeah, yeah. That's what the challenging part I said, where we spend 1 hour sitting with them and then helping them. It is difficult to help on this platform, but I'm telling you, if you could just see this presentation which I've done, and it will help you to decide what you can do on your own. That was my purpose of doing this presentation, and whether I was successful or not, your feedbacks would tell me, yes, doc, I've already got those feedback that they are feeling better, but there's a lot of people attending this Facebook Live. So your feedbacks would be really helpful, and it will tell me that whether this is helpful, and I'd like to continue doing this if it's really helpful, especially at this time of lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just one last question, doctor.
Okay.
She's in pain, so I just thought,
Yeah.
okay, just one last question from Vandana Sudhakar. Hi,
Okay.
doctor. I have pain in both feet under the big toes. Using ice helps, but after that, it comes back. What else would help?
Right. Okay. Yeah. Right. Below the big toe, the reasons could be one, it could be coming from the soft tissues there, or it could be coming because of any imbalance in the blood, actually. So we would want to know which is the reason for it. But if the cold pack is helping and it is coming back, that means you're treating the symptoms. The root cause is not being addressed. Just find out what is the root cause. Are you on the heavier side, or you're standing, or are you doing a lot of jumping exercise on the toes? Because that's one reason why you can hurt that base of the toe. I think that is the area which you are trying to tell me. So you could hurt that by doing a lot of jumping activities. So just try to go to the root cause why this is happening. If you could just analyze that, I think then you'll be able to give it a little more permanent solution. But cold pack is helping you, but it's coming back. That means you're not addressing the root cause. You're just treating it symptomatically. The root cause is what is harming it. I typically say that if your finger gets stuck in between the door, what is the first thing you should do? Not put medications. Take the finger out from there. That's the first thing. So just do that. See what is the root cause and try to be away from that cause.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you so much, doctor, for patiently answering all our questions and explaining a lot of things.
Yeah.
Uh, Thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you, Neela, so much. I really had fun during the session, and thank you for all those uh, questions. And thank you to your entire team also. Thank you so much.
It's entirely our pleasure. And those of you who've logged in just now and have asked about the presentation, we will take doctor's permission and we will be uploading it to our website. And
Sure.
do check facebook.com/Gurgaon Mom, which is our page, where we will be posting the link to the PowerPoint. And we will also share details of Dr. Manoj in case you wish to get in touch with him. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye bye.